Hello everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me. I am scrap lifting the marvelously talented Melissa Vining, who created this super gorgeous quote layout using this amazing wreath by Cocoa Vanilla Studios. She used a whole bunch of thickers and wrote a big massive quote sort of in the middle of the wreath, and it just looked divine. The minute I saw it, I knew I was doing that. I actually had this wreath cut out and in a plastic pocket with this particular photo, and it's probably been sitting there waiting for a good 6 or 7 months. I didn't know what to do with it. I knew I wanted that wreath and that photo together, and that's all I could do. I was so stumped. And when I saw Melissa Vining's layout, I just clicked and went, Eureka, this is me. This is what I'm doing. So I am so excited to get working on this layout. So I got another page of Cocoa Vanilla's Studios pattern paper, and this is a beautiful wood grain. It's from one of the boy collections, I do believe. I could be wrong, but it's got silver stars on the other side. And I just thought it looked really lovely, so I was going to include that as my backing paper. But I wanted a little bit more happening in the background, so I'm just using a whole bunch of different Heidi Swap Color Shine I've got blush, I've got navy, I've got teal, I've got black, and I've got gold, I think I used 5. And I'm just splashing those around in a circle that's going to be underneath my wreath. As you can see, my teal got a little bit crazy, and there's a massive blob there, and there's a few other fairly decent sized blobs as well. I'm not too worried about those. I'm just going to turn the paper sideways and cover that really big one with my photo. The other ones will be fine. No drama. You can see off to my right, I've got the ephemera I'm going to be using on this layout ready to go. I fussy cut the butterflies from the Happiness collection, and I fussy cut those couple of little flower bits from my last little scrap of paper from that Happiness paper, floral paper. It is beautiful. And then above the layout, you can sort of see the start of some thickers. That is where I've got my quote all laid out, ready to go. I did pick all my thickers off camera because I'm not going to lie, it took a long time. I don't have that many thickers, and so to be able to actually make the words I wanted to make with the correct letters, it took a long time. And I didn't want to have, the wrong colors, and I kind of wanted 2 words in each. So that's what my brain was doing. I wanted 2 words made from each thicker type, so it didn't stand out as being random to have, like a pink one in the set or something like that. If there was 2 of them, it looked like it was more purposeful. So yeah, it took a while. So I was impatient and didn't want to wait. I wanted to get going with this layout. So as you can see, I am using my heat tool to hasten this up a little bit. All right, jumping ahead, and that is all dry. So there is my gorgeous wreath, and here is my gorgeous photo. That is a picture of Thomas at about 4 or 5 months old, maybe 5 or 6 months old. Anyway, sitting with my dad, with Grandpa. So I'm going to use that photo to cover that big splodge of teal Heidi Swap Color Shine. I have matted my photo first in white and then in a beautiful light blue, kind of the color of that light blue butterfly over on the right hand side there. So just popping the photo on foam, and it's going to sit right on top of that teal splodge. And then it'll be time to go on in with my thickers. Now, I do have a confession to make. I didn't realize that my camera turned off. Of course, there's always something when we're working with technology, isn't there? So I've got the process of laying out my thickers. You can see here that I'm putting the last word on and now the first word on, because I wanted to make sure they were going to fit within the wreath. I didn't want them hanging out of the wreath. So once you watch the process of me sort of laying everything down, yes, that letter is a P. I'm going to doctor that letter, but I'm not going to do it right this very second. Once you see me laying everything down, I put you into super, super, super fast forward mode and glue all my letters on. And then I've got a whole bunch of still photos at the end where I am going to share with you a whole bunch of how I use that ephemera off to the right hand side to embellish my page. You really don't miss much. I really did not embellish a whole heap, and I certainly didn't do anything that is like groundbreakingly amazing with those embellishments, but I do want you to see what I did. So apologies that got cut off from the camera. So you can see here that I meant what I did when I mentioned that I wanted 2 words in each color thicker. So grandpa's and touch in that shiny silver. I've got wisdom and love in that green. I've got to and bring in those skinny white letters. The warmth in the sparkly gold is the only one, I think. Happiness and they are in that black and white. Sorry, I got distracted looking at my layout. So every and the end are the only ones in those, but they're both black. And then I've got the letter A and then the word, I can't even see what it is, life, are both in the navy blue. So there is some that are a little bit standing out on their own, but mostly I've done 2 of every word, just to, as I said, tie it all in together. I did find this a challenge, I'm not going to lie, to choose the correct thickers for this. I didn't want anything too sort of outlandish and too crazy, because I wanted the wreath to sort of speak for itself, and I wanted the quote to speak for itself, that I didn't want one thicker to pull attention more than the other. But I think I did okay. The green is a little bit off. To be honest, I kind of also wanted to use up the green thickers. So the green needed to be on words that were important adjectives, like the wisdom and the love. It could have been warmth or happiness also. But I didn't want the green to just be the word bring or the word a or the word and. I wanted the green to actually be a sort of a purpose word. So if it does draw your eye, which I think it kind of does, it's at least drawing you to, the adjective part of the quote, which I think is important. So in general, I'm pretty happy with how this turns out. I did have to stand up a few times so I could check that it was sort of straight and that it was flowing together all right, but I think it looks pretty cool. So thank you again, Melissa, for finally getting me to actually create this layout. I'm so excited that this has really seriously been sitting in my album for Tom's almost 1.5, so for a year, waiting to be done. So I'm excited. I'm almost finished gluing on all these stickers. I glued every single sticker on. One, because they've sort of been hanging around a little bit now because I was fiddling here and fiddling there to try and get the font right and get the layout right. And also because I just wanted to make sure they really were adhered. So, looking at my ephemera, because this is the bit that you missed out. The fussy cut flowers there are just popped up on top with foam. All the butterflies have only got foam down their centers, and then their wings are bent up. I've got the Cocoa Vanilla Studios Make a Wish sparkly enamel dots that I've put on. And then that other little flower I tucked in between the layers of my photo. So I'm super thrilled with how this looks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Melissa, for your inspiration. And I'll catch you on my next even day.